Welcome to episode number 10 of the WireTap podcast with Alex and Carlos.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Happy Friday, or should I do what Charlamagne the God does? Yo 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 yo. Peace to the planet. No, don't work. Maybe not.
I
It's
don't know.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah. Well, I guess not.
I
I guess
hope
not.
you
What's going
guys'
on
week
with you,
has
Alex,
been
man?
nothing, man. I hope everybody's week, like when they catch when they see this is gonna be what, Tuesday? So
Oh
I hope
man,
they
everybody listening, whoever was eligible to that stimulus check already got that stimmy.
some of them maybe.
Have you seen some of those memes, man, that are going around town? That are going around town. That are going around the internet.
Which ones? There's a
My
few.
favorite when the stimulus check hits. Some of my favorites are. It says I walk into PetSmart and then it says phone notification stimulus money hit me. Where your lions at? Have you
Where's
seen
your
that?
lions at? No.
Those are
No,
my
I've not.
favorite ones, bro. There's another one that says me, and then in parentheses, stimulus money hits me again at McDonald's. Me, and then it says, let me get 2 cheeseburgers, and then me again, stops and thinks, and the clown, Ronald
No,
McDonald.
no, so I seen the one that
Some
says
fools, man. It's hilarious.
so the guy walks into the family's home. He's got like 4 kids. He's like, "What's going on, my 1400s? What you guys want? You guys want some ice cream? I got you.
I got
I
you.
got you, baby. That's at least what I can do." And then he walks into the other room. His wife is over there. He's like, "What's up, host 1400? You want some chicken nuggets? I got you." And she's like, "What? 1400? What? I got you. It's the least I can do." And then walks out. And then
It's
of course
funny,
you don't
man.
get it, but it's like, okay, I got 1400 for each one. At least I can do is buy you an ice cream. I can buy you some chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. It's
So
great,
he's
man.
like,
It's good.
thank you.
It's hilarious. I don't know about you, man, but every time I watch either if it's a TikTok or anything like that, I always go straight to the comments. I always go straight to the comments because people are hilarious, man. Some of the things they say, some of the things
Oh,
that are
for
out there.
sure.
But look, speaking of these things, right? One of the first topics of the day I would say is let's talk about some guilty pleasures, man. You started talking about some chicken nuggets and some ice cream. Alex, is there a guilty pleasure you have, man?
No, I know what your guilty pleasure is
Uh,
watching the Kardashians.
oh man, that's
That's you.
ladies and gentlemen. Please completely disregard what you just heard. I do
No,
not
that's
watch the Kardashians. It is not a favorite show of mine. It is an all-time favorite show of mine. I'm a Kardashian fan in the closet. I thoroughly enjoy the Kardashians. I thoroughly know exactly what's going on in the Kardashian family. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but I just know. I know the whole family. I'm a little brokenhearted about these
you
20
guys are tight.
seasons. And it's over. It's coming to an end. Yes, it is a
You're,
guilty pleasure. I tend to enjoy it. And I believe tonight is the premiere, my friend,
oh, is
of
it?
the 20th
I don't know.
season. Of the 20th season. So yeah,
And that's the
that's
last
that's
one.
my I will man up and tell you that's a guilty pleasure. I am a fan. I am a proud fan, but I ain't trying to say it out loud. You understand me? Alex, you just put me out there. So those listeners that are listening, now you know that I have a guilty pleasure, and my guilty pleasure is watching the Kardashians. And
Nah, but
that's
for real,
that's
I
kind of
mean, besides,
embarrassing. That's kind of
but
embarrassing. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man.
but besides that one, what's the one you were actually gonna say?
No. It plays a role. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I will tell you, there's another guilty pleasure I do. I'm a car dancer. You a car dancer, man? You like to listen to
Uh,
music and dance in the car?
I like to sing. I like to sing pretty loud in the car when I'm by myself, especially. Yeah.
That's a guilty pleasure. You consider that your
No, no.
guilty pleasure?
I
I'm a
guess so. But
professional dancer, bro. I'm a professional dancer from here to here, right? You feel me? Like from here
yeah,
to here. I'm a professional dancer, right? I got moves, right? I think I know what
yeah.
I'm doing, right? I think I could do anything while I'm sitting down dancing, man. I don't know about you, but that's like a thing for me. I don't know if anybody else that's listening to us, maybe you're on your way to work, maybe you're on your way to the store, maybe you're just trying to kill some time. I don't know about you, but for me, man, when I'm sitting down and I'm listening to music, I'm in it. And I'm one of those waist up dancers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
know
for
you were. You're not a waist up dancer, are you, man? You're
no,
not
I
really a
mean,
boogie. You don't really boogie, do you?
no, I'm not really dancing that much, but I'm definitely singing and moving my hands and saying like keep going crazy and
Yeah, like you
doing the
by
whole thing with the
yourself.
song.
Like by yourself, you're hyping
No,
yourself up.
even
So
if
to
I'm
say.
with the car with somebody and it's like, well, it's like the song I'm into it for sure, 100%. I think one of my guilty pleasures is like Lego sets. I like building Lego
Lego
sets.
sets. So
Yeah,
you
man.
buy a bunch. Do you? So you still buy Lego sets, man?
hmm
I
hmm
knew you were a
I
Lego
can show
fan.
you guys. I can
I
show
knew
you
you were
guys.
a Lego fan, but I didn't know you were still like deep into it. Like you got to
Look right
go
here.
to a group. Oh, that's that
Look right
stuff.
here. No, see, look at this guy. This is bad boys. Tell me this ain't cool.
That is cool.
Tell me
It's
this
very.
ain't cool. Look at the thing. It's got the little.
Do you
You
not
can
have? Do you
use
not
stuff.
have anything you do during the day, man? You don't have any extracurricular activities, or is this your extracurricular
Look.
activity? You got wings? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, man.
Hey
So
man,
so
be
I
honest
def-
with me. Be honest with me. How long did that take to make?
not that long because I crank them up pretty fast. But I do like building Lego sets. We got them all over the house. My kid likes them too. I think it's a creative thing, right? Where
Yeah,
it just allows you to, even though you're copying off a book, or sometimes we create our own things. Like he'll create his own little things. Like here's something he created, and it's like, oh, it's like, I don't know. He makes up stories, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
You know
I
what
think
I
Legos
like
are
when it
pretty
comes to
creative,
Legos?
man.
I like the Mario Legos. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I think you showed them last time, right? Where it's got the little creative thing now that's interactive.
Yeah. It's got like a barcode, and Mario turns to life, and he's got like a scanner built in, and it goes with an app. Man, they're creative, man. They are getting creative on what they're putting out there. But here's the thing, man, is that people are making millions off of toys. I mean, it is a $1 billion industry, and you're
Mhm.
contributing. And I get it, but I didn't know that was a
I
full.
mean,
Is that your number one guilty pleasure, man? Is that like a
well,
thing?
I would say
Like,
so.
can
I
you
mean, I
go to the
got
store without going to the Lego aisle? Or you have to go through the Lego aisle?
no. It's I don't have to go, but I
Yeah,
definitely like to see if there's something there.
yeah.
I like to build them with my son, and I have some other ones back here. We got some ships. It's like they're all over the house. Is
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just one of the things that I like to
So
do. I
how
mean,
would
of
you
course,
feel if how would you
video
feel if a
games and all that.
random kid how would you feel if a random kid from the neighborhood walked in and he's like, "Oh, look at these Legos," and he grabs it and all of a sudden just starts destroying them? How mad would you be, bro?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too upset because it happens all the time because you got my kid and he wants to play with his spaceship or
Yeah.
something. He can play with certain ones. He can't play with the black one, right? Um
Oh, so they're
but
some of them that you have are untouchable, like you can't touch them.
no, but I let him, and if it messes up, I know how to fix them. We'll fix them again, but I mean, what do you do, man? They're Legos. You can put them back together. I'm not gonna get too upset. Do I wish that they didn't touch some of them? Yeah, of course, right? But I do video games as well. But I think that's not like I don't want nobody to know. It's like I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah,
common
yeah.
in today's society. It's like actually taking off more than some sports, right? You got all these people watching,
It's
some
true.
creators
Was that
playing video
Twitch?
games.
Was
So
that Twitch? And what's the
yeah,
other ones?
Twitch and all that, and so it's not a big deal. I don't think it's that guilty anymore, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think
So
Legos, because Legos, some people don't, but they find it's like, oh, you still play? Yeah, dude, I still play with Legos. I like Legos. If I see somebody getting Legos, it's like, oh, you want me to help you build it? It's like, I'll help you build it.
you
It's
jump
a
right into it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
jump right.
it's a mind stress reliever too, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah. No, I
puzzles.
get
Like
it. I
people
get
are,
it. No, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But let me
so
ask you
that's
this:
mine,
Can't you?
anyways.
Can't you get like super glue and build it all over again, and then just put super glue on each piece? That way, it doesn't come apart.
Yeah, you could do that for sure. I've done a couple of Sebastian's one, so he doesn't take them apart. But
Yeah,
eventually, they'll still play around with them until they take them off and then do their own thing.
yeah.
Um, but I do want to have him set up a couple of them in his room because we got like a bunch of figurines all over the place.
Oh,
But
really?
that's mine.
I've
But
never
that's
noticed them when I come over, man. I've never noticed that they're all
because
over
they're
the
hidden
place.
because I have them hidden because I don't. He
You
lost
don't
a
want
lot of
nobody to
them.
come in and
No,
touch
no,
it.
he lost a lot of them, so I just want to keep them for him until we can actually set up his room and have them all like displayed and everything. He's
Oh,
getting
gotcha, gotcha,
to
gotcha.
the that age where he wants them and nobody like touch them and stuff because they're more like an art piece.
Yeah, yeah. At one point, I don't know if I can call it a guilty pleasure. I mean, I don't know, but I'm big into watches and shoes, man. A lot of
Oh,
people
for
don't know.
sure.
A lot of people don't know that about me. A lot of people think, when people ask me, so what's one thing that people don't know about you? When I say, man, I'm a big watch collector and I'm a big shoe guy, they're blown away, like they're taken aback, I guess, because i'm such I'm really like a hardcore business guy, so they don't see me that way. Those that don't really know me, they're like, you like shoes, like really, like watches, really? Because
Yeah.
I don't tend to I don't show them off like that, right? I'll wear a random watch, but I know what that watch means to me, right? So I don't show them off. I don't walk around and let me tell you how many watches I have. I mean, I do have a significant amount as well as shoes. But I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, man. I don't know if I call it a guilty pleasure, but I'm a big guy when it comes to watches and shoes. But I don't think I've ever kept it a secret. That's just something I really never talked about.
Nah, the same. But I don't really find those like guilty. Like some people are into hunting, some people are into fishing, some people are into some other fixing their truck, some people are into some other things. You know, I like sneakers, I like watches, I like video games, I like Legos. That's the things that I'm into. Shoes, it's almost like an addictive thing. So
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
gotta
Got
relax
to take a
myself
step
because
back.
once I kind of start, it's like, oh, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, and then it's like, no, no, no. It's like I gotta, dial it back and just be like, oh, I want these I really want, and I try to get them, and then I try to get
Yeah,
some other
man.
ones. But I
How I
really
feel
have
about
to
Louis
like,
Vuitton, man.
yeah, I have to restrain myself.
It's crazy, man, because that tends to happen. So I don't know about those of you that are listening, but you got to think about some of the things that you do as far as guilty pleasure. Is there something that perhaps maybe throughout your time, throughout your years, that you've been quiet about and you don't want nobody to know? Of course, man, I don't want nobody to know I've watched the Kardashians, man, but I'm a big Kardashian fan, bro. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is. I really don't. I really don't know what it is,
it's
but I
entertaining.
thoroughly enjoy it. I don't know if it's them or it's the reality TV piece. You know what I mean? I don't. I
No, it's
don't.
definitely the story behind, or maybe like the way like you're trying to.
Maybe the come up, right? Maybe the come up.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
no, but
you don't
even
really watch those shows, do you, man?
no, not really the Kardashian. I got some other shows that I
Oh yeah,
tend
you
to
do
watch,
the
but you know
winter's
which one?
coming. You
You know
do
which
that.
one I really enjoy is Gold Rush.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
not really for anybody, but it's I find it fascinating. These guys put a lot on the line, and I don't think you can really fake the show because they're
Yeah.
really out
You
there.
hope not, right?
Well, I hope not, but I don't think so because these guys I'm sure there's a lot of dramatic effect and some other things
Of
and maybe
course.
something that make it out like, oh, this is the end of the world, and it's not. But I
Yeah.
think those guys are actually putting some of their money on the line for to get gold, and it's kind of fascinating. Well, it's the like no. So I don't think the gold aspect is fake. I think a lot of the drama around it
Yeah.
could be
The hype.
fabricated
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
yeah, more
Yeah.
dramatic
The
for the
Hollywood
audience.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the actual essence of the show is fake.
Oh, I see. I see. Is that one of those shows that you don't want nobody to know that you would watch, man?
No, no, no. Anybody says I find it fascinating to be honest, and it's
Yeah,
kind of
maybe
being
that's maybe that's the word I think about the Kardashians when I think about them. Maybe they're
yeah.
just fascinating.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
I don't think they're really risking anything. Where I think these guys are maybe probably risking a lot because they're putting their money, their financial. Sometimes they take their life savings, get a crew. They're getting all this stuff, machinery, and everything costs so much money.
True.
And then you're trying to
True.
get gold, and sometimes they don't make it. And then it's like, oh, and this, and you can see the struggles, and you can like, there's some things you can't really fake.
Yeah.
I think in the show, and that's what I think. I find it intriguing.
When I think about that show, man, because I've seen it a couple of times, I love how the goal, right? The ultimate goal at the end of the day is what? To honestly find gold, right? That
Yeah.
is the goal. So they put all of their eggs in that basket, and their goal is hopefully at the end of the day that they're
Just
able to
right.
regain the investment, right? Able to
Hmm.
regain the investment, able to emerge out of that and really put some money in their pocket, right? So, which kind of leads us into the next segment when we talk about goals, right, Alex? One
Yeah,
of the
for
things that
sure.
we were discussing earlier this week, and we move into the show now, is let's think about those short-term goals, right? In that show, it's probably, what is it, like a 30-minute, no, it's like a 45-minute show, isn't it?
It's like a 45-minute show
It's
with
like a
commercials and
45.
stuff in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's kind of like 90 Day Fiance, right? It's a
Hmm.
45-minute show when you catch it on a good day. And, short-term goals and long-term goals are incredibly important. And as you think about 2021 and where you're heading and where we're heading as a country, honestly, there's got to be some goals that you've set in play last year that you just weren't able to acquire because of honestly, the climate, right? The climate of the season, just the being at home and trying to figure out what happens next. It's just a mess, man. I don't know about you, but did you put together, even if it's just one, Alex? I'm willing to share at least one of my short-term or long-term goals. Did you put any of those together this year?
No, so actually, I was fortunate to the short goals or long term goals that I had, I was able to achieve and actually exceed some of those goals. And so this year is the same thing. I have a certain number that that I also want to say make sure that we put aside for this year.
Yeah,
Everything's going good. Goals around the house that we want to try to achieve, like maybe it's not even that big, but we put hardwood floor in the whole bottom of our house, and
yeah,
those are like little small things. But as far as long term goals, I mean, it's just really trying to do that snowball effect that we've been talking about, where
yeah,
I put more money to the side. I put more money in investments for the future, and
yeah,
that's kind of my
yeah.
goal. My goal is to just keep putting as much as I can. I mean, I don't want to put a number out there just because it's like I don't want to close myself to a number just yet. But there is
Yeah.
like like for example for saving, say I think yours is a little bit. Would you want to go with yours first? I mean,
I mean, I'm a bit aggressive. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little aggressive this year only because I've got certain things in play, right? I've got certain things in motion that when I forecast out to the 12 months in this year, I think it's very attainable, very achievable. But my goal this year, my short term goal for the year, I'm not talking 6 months, I'm talking short term, 12 months. My short term goal for the year is to develop, right? Is to put together $50,000 of a nest egg this year, right? So 50 grand, creating a nest egg, and of course carrying over to the following year. So that is my goal this year, that I accumulate, and whether that's through the investments, through savings, through whether it is minimizing certain expenses, either way, as a whole, right? My long-term goal, at a short-term goal at the end of the year, is to put at least a 50 grand allocation as a nest egg. That is just this year. Adding on
so
top of whatever we got going
mhm.
on, I'm talking just 50 grand at the end of this year. So
so,
January to December. I
so let
know
me
it's
ask
aggressive.
you.
Believe me, I know that.
No, no, no. It's fine. I think it's I mean, I don't know where you're at as far as your income and what you're getting and stuff, but I think it's definitely achievable, right? Um,
Absolutely.
for some people, right, it just really depends on where you're at as far as your work environment, how much you're making, your lifestyle. Do you really want to cut some stuff? But so you definitely can do it. Now what I want to say is, let's just say for people who have 50K or maybe higher, or maybe just around that, what time do you like? Okay, my nest egg is, let's just say 50 grand. Let's just say I have 50 grand in the bank account. What do I do with the other? I just want to see your take on it. Would you take the
Yeah.
other, like, let's just say you have 80 grand, you take the other 30, move it over to all to investment, and then like say you have 50 right now and your goal is to have another 50 and now you have 100. Is it cut back and leave 50 and put throw the other 50 into investment?
Yeah. So for me,
Or what would it
so
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So if I surpass my goal of 50, right? So if I surpass my short term goal, I'm not going to take what I've surpassed it and throw it into an investment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assess what next year's goal is, right? Before I start divvying any cash up, before I start diversifying my own portfolio, whether that's, as a whole in finances, or whether that's in investments, or whether that's just, accumulating, whatever yield I've made for the year. At the end of the day, once December 31st hits and January 1 begins, I will already have a goal set that day as we move into the new year. So for me, my rule of thumb is, after taking that 50, 30, and 10, you remember that 60,
Hmm.
30, and 10, as we talk about those specific items, for me, my goal is to divvy that up depending on what my needs and my goals are. That's why I've said it all throughout this show. You need to design a goal. You need to have a number that you're shooting for. Don't just say, well, I want to be able to put some money away. What does that look like? Because you could put $12 away, right? But you could put
Yeah.
$12,000 away. But you need to shoot towards a goal. Now, again, I do understand that my 50 is aggressive, but I've got a good feeling about it. Only because I have put things in place that will allow me to achieve that goal for the year, right? So I would say to you, I would say to anyone listening, come up with a real number, right? If you're struggling how to do that, take your income, take your expenses. If you have no investments, I'll break it down incredibly quick. Take your income, take your expenses, whatever you got left over, right? Depending how you break it out, take that number at the end of the month, forecast it out by 12 months, and there's a number that you could start with, right? There
Hmm.
is a number right there that you could start with. It could be larger, it could be smaller. It doesn't matter, but you've got to start somewhere, Alex. You got to. And you got to have something you're shooting towards. Don't just live in the moment of, well, I just hope to, end the year in a positive position. Well, if that's the case, you may not even make any money and just be in a positive position, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So
So
that would be my encouragement to those that are listening, of course.
yeah, no, I got a an aggressive goal as well as far as saving. I have the number locked in my head. Just because there's a lot of people listening, and I just don't want to throw any numbers out there.
Yeah.
Um, you know how that goes. But I definitely have an aggressive
If
number.
people are in your business, people are in your business, right?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a touchy subject when you're talking about money, and and
Yeah. Yeah.
we always give advice and what we're doing, and I I also have an aggressive. I mean, it could be right there with yours, as far as
Yeah.
as
That's with
far as
everything, right?
saving.
That's the conglomerate of things, right? It's income and expenses, whether that's trimming the fat or not. That's when it comes to yields. That's when it comes to kickbacks. That's when it comes, I mean, everything under the financial umbrella, right? Anything that equates into a number that is considered a profit, anything that puts me into a net gain, that is my number. Again, it's not just one revenue stream, it's multiple revenue streams.
Yeah, yeah, no, and it's like, see, like your 50 as far as savings, like I could be different, right? It could be 30 and 20 and throwing it all in investments, right? It's like, okay, here's what I worry about, right? Is like our money is losing what by inflation 3%.
Oh, yeah,
So
man.
the more money
Right
you
off the
have in the
bat.
bank account,
It's not going to
the,
do
the
nothing if it's
longer.
just sitting there.
Yeah, correct. But your purchasing power is a little bit less than it was yesterday, or especially the year, right?
That's
So
right.
it's
That's
like,
right.
well, do I really want to have so much money in, like, just in a savings account where the money's not working for me? Or do you where you make those lines? And that's a so you have to look at the market. You have to really take decisions, because now we're not talking about money to throw away, right?
No, no,
It's a
not at
different
all.
thing. The money that what we talked about, the money that you throw in Bitcoin or whatever, that's money that's throw away. Like you said, like, do you believe in it? Yeah, no, I'm not sure. But now we're talking about money that you're accounting for. It's like, so you gotta really do your homework. Where it's going into, what investments am I putting that money into? Because I don't want to lose it, right? The market goes up and down, and we got to understand that, right? Nothing's certain, even with our 401ks, your Roth accounts. You don't know because you're expecting to get that money when you retire at 60 something, right? So
Yeah,
once it gets closer, they start taking some of those percentages and put it into more safe investments. But at
that's
the
right.
beginning, they're really invested in risky
Yeah,
scenarios, right? Because
yeah,
you're
of
going to get
course,
the most gains. So it
of
goes
course.
up and down, but the market recuperates in 10 years. So you're able to make your money back. So what I would encourage people is out there is if you're really trying to put money that you really have towards it and you don't want to lose it, is you got to do your homework. You really
You
got to do your
gotta
homework.
do your homework, man. You gotta. You're right. You're right. Keep going. Keep going. I
No, no,
just
no.
wanted to affirm you on that, man.
No, I mean, that's just it, dude. I just want to say you need to reach out, listen to people that really know. Don't be listening to just these TikToks and people because man, that could I could just show you faking. I could just pull something off the internet and show you. Oh yeah, look at my gains. You don't know that I'm gonna send 100,000. I'm gonna send 10,000 to the next 10 people. Follow me. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, guys. It's
yeah.
like you gotta really look at these people and know that some of them are just nothing but BS.
And ultimately, man, I get stressed. I don't get stressed out. Let me choose my words wisely. I get frustrated when you see people on Instagram. It seems like every Instagrammer, whether they've got 5 followers or they've got 5 million followers, they're always sitting in front of a Maserati and telling you, "Let me show you how I did it." Really, man? Talk about the what is the 1% on Instagram? Because it looks like to me that everybody on Instagram, everybody on TikTok has got it figured out, right?
You
Everyone
remember?
has found a money pot.
So you remember when my brother was down at Canelo's fight in Miami, right?
Yeah,
At the same time, Deshaun Watson was down there and he was hosting this car meetup, of course, of
yeah.
exotic cars, and
He's
he
got a
was
little
down there.
McLaren. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, didn't know that there were gonna be that show, and of course, and he was trying to land like a Lamborghini, and he had already established a deal, and they were gonna rent it to him for like 800 a day. But then when he got there, they were wanting like 4K a day because I guess everybody was renting the exotics. So half of the people that were out there, they were all rentals. They were rentals. So it's like, dude, don't you can rent a thing, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati, whatever, and a McLaren, and you just be like, oh look, here's let me show you,
yeah. Because you don't
just for
want
the
to take the
clout.
risk, right? You don't want to take the risk and throw that kind of money down the drain when I could just rent it if it's all for the clout, right? If it's all for the gram, if it's all for Snap, if it's all for the pictures, it'll work, right? But it is not a sustainable model. Let's be honest.
Mm-mm.
It is not a sustainable model to blow money unless money is coming through your ears, right? That's why I
Mm-hmm.
struggle with these TikTokers. I struggle with the Instagrammers because it's like, okay, that's great. I see that. Fantastic. Way to go. However, how real is this, right?
Yeah.
How real is this? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I can go rent it, right? I can go rent it. But until you're riding in it, then it's a different story. Until that title says your name, bro, I'll go get every single one of my cars. I'll go get those titles, every single one of them. Bring it right back and show you this is real, right? Instead of sitting there and playing millionaire, like why play a millionaire when you can just be real and say, look, I'm not a millionaire, but I've got some things figured out, right? I've got my
Mm-hmm.
finances in check. I'm able to allocate where I need to allocate, and I live very comfortably, right? By God's grace, let me tell you, by God's grace, I live very comfortably.
Yep.
So I do, man. I struggle when I see that. I struggle incredibly when I see because it's like everyone on Instagram, everyone on social media has got it figured out. Not only do they have it figured out, but they've got it right. And it's like, really, really, these are millions and millions of people. My goodness, I guess they do.
Yeah. No.
But I
It's
struggle with that, man.
No, the only thing I would say, just to finish up with that, is, man, just even if your goal is not, like so ambitious where you're doing like Carlos here, 50K, right? Maybe it could be 5,000. I don't know. It could be two
It's a
thousand
start.
for the year.
Do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a start, right? But you do 5,000 this year, 5,000 next year. Now you're at 10. Now next year another five. You know you're at 15. So I would just say, just set a goal and just really try to do it.
And do your homework, right? So yeah, man, no, I totally get it. Now, my long term goal is a little. For those of you that are listening, my long term goal is a little bit of a. It may not be achievable, and the reason I say it may not be achievable because I really need to think about this. If I really want to commit to this, my long term goal is to purchase a G wagon. But bro, it's $136,000. I don't know if I want to commit to a $136,000 vehicle, right? Listen, the depreciation rate is lower than most other vehicles, right? I get that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I can appreciate that. But maybe I can pull off a used one. But the problem with a used one, I'm running between at least 105 to 115, which is kind of pricey in my neck of the woods, because I just don't believe that you should commit to something to that degree. And then someone said, well, why don't you do a lease program? I don't know if I want to commit to a lease program, to be honest with you, right? I don't know if I feel like just throwing cash out the door. So it is an elaborate long-term goal. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying. It is an
Well,
elaborate one.
it's something. Well, it depends, right? Because I know you and you like to do a lot of driving,
Yeah, man, I
right?
do. I
So
do.
here, one way you can pursue your lease would be like you do a lease for 3 years or whatever, for 12,000 miles a year.
That's
You
nothing,
pay
bro.
the. I understand that,
Yeah.
but the lease, here's how it works. Because I don't know if I said it
Yeah.
on the show, but I used to work at at a dealership, at the Cadillac dealership, one of the locals here, right? So the way the lease work would be like, say you rent it out. I mean, you lease it for 36 months at $12,000. I mean, 12,000. Excuse me,
Miles.
12,000 miles a
Yeah.
year. Well, you ride it. Let's just say you riding it all over the place, and you're actually deciding that you're gonna keep the vehicle. Well, at the end of your term, right before that, you just finance the remaining residual value
Yeah.
of the car,
Take that
and then you
option.
buy
Yeah.
it. So technically, it's kind of like you're renting the vehicle for the beginning portion of it, where your payments are lower, but
But they apply
you're
it.
paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying that depreciation value that you were already gonna pay anyways if you bought
Either
it brand
way.
new off the lot. But
That's right.
your payments are a little bit lower because now you're just paying that portion of it, and then after the fact, say you can finance the remaining residual value of your vehicle. So let's just say that G wagon costs 130. You're gonna lease it out, and it's gonna go. You're gonna pay like 40 grand, or you're gonna refinance it for the remaining balance,
Fine.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Now the miles don't matter if you're actually gonna buy the vehicle.
Yeah,
The
of course.
miles matter if you're gonna turn it in, and you go over. Well, you're gonna have to pay. I think for
The
every
difference per mile,
yeah for every mile or whatever, right? So you're
which could
gonna
get
end up
kind of
paying the
pricey, man. It could get kind of pricey depending what kind of lease program you jumped on.
It could, but I mean, it's you can always negotiate that kind of stuff and drop it down. There's little tricks there, or you say you just rent it out. I mean, you lease it for 36 months, and you decide like, hey, good thing I didn't buy this. You turn it in, and you're out of that
Right.
commitment, no
Right.
problem.
Right.
So there's benefits to both of them.
There. You are absolutely right. There are, but I will say, as far as a long-term goal, it's something that I'm still wrestling with. I mean, and some may say, well, if you're allocating 50 grand, Carlos, for the year, then why don't you just buy it cash? Because I'm not crazy.
No,
Because at
because
the end of the day, cash is still king, guys. Cash is still king. Cash purchasing power is incredibly helpful.
correct.
So
And then
anyway,
you can
what
always
about
throw
you
that
out?
into an investment account, the interest rate or
Oh
whatever
man, yeah.
compound over time. It's like for the same amount of years, it'll give you more. So it's actually they paid you to buy the vehicle instead of you paying it cash. So there's a lot of information out there that we can't get to, unfortunately, in this particular show. I mean, it requires its own segment, right? It's long, but we'll touch on those maybe on another like
Or
an
I could,
actual
or I
topic.
could just go buy a multifamily unit, fix it,
Hmm.
rent it, create some residual income. Anyway, there's so many options, but for me, that's the reason I have said that is because I have wanted one now for a little while now. The GL
They're
the
nice.
GL
They're
350
nice.
right now is great. It's fantastic as far
I
as one
like
of the
the
vehicles that I have. It's great, but man, I like the G wagon, bro. I love the
man.
G500, man. Love
I
it.
don't even I like the Rolls Royce, Kulikan, or what is it called? I forget the name exactly, but man, those are nice. But of course, I'm not gonna. That's not
And,
even. You're
yeah,
talking a little
I'm
bit
right there
out there.
with you. There's no need for all that. What do you mean? Are we
Yeah.
gonna? Am I gonna live in the vehicle? It's a different story, right? If I'm gonna live in the vehicle, then maybe I can
I
make
would
it
if
happen.
if my income was 10% more than what that vehicle was, because then it's like, okay, let's talk about it, right? But it's like, just for a vehicle like that, it's like, I'm not gonna do it, right?
Just throwing your money away. Listen, if you've got the money to throw away like that, you go right ahead. I support you, right? I don't see it as an investment. I'll be honest with you. I do see certain vehicles as investments. I'm not gonna break that down right now, but I am gonna say that there are some vehicles out there that are considered investments. I just don't think that all vehicles are investments right now, or any at any given point. So anyway, that's
So
just my approach. That's just my long term goal. Alex, you got a long term goal you want to share?
no, man, right now I really haven't put, was a pen to paper, like they say.
Yeah, man.
I got some visuals that we're trying to do, and what I've been working kind of hard at. But it's just they're really just giving. I think my long term goal is just keep doing what I'm doing. Is working for me very well, and just keep hustling and doing what I'm doing, and eventually be able to be more financially free,
Yeah,
where you can do, like, dude, I don't have to put up with this, right?
that's right. That's
But
right. That's
when
right.
you have that money all the way in the side, and that's my long term goal, is just to be where you, like, some people say out there some fu money, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
keep working on that. I mean, that's my long term goal. But let's just
Yeah, yeah.
jump
It's a lot
into
different than the other one.
yeah, we've been doing the series, and as far as the rules of life,
And it's funny because
I
you
don't know if you
just
guys
kind of
paid
touched on
attention.
it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys been paying attention, but we've been doing this series called The Rules of Life, and it was 7 rules of life, and we're at week number 10, which is our number 6. So we're getting close to the end, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy that little mini series that we've been doing. But number 6, it's it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness.
Oh man,
So it's on you. Only you are in
couldn't
charge of your happiness.
couldn't agree
And
more with number 6.
this is for all our, couples that are out there, partners, girlfriend, boyfriends, whatever you're into. They ain't no
My
judgment
fan.
here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like whatever you're into. It's like, think about that, Carlos. Like, it's not your job, right? It's not
It's
your
not
job to
your
make somebody else happy.
It's not your job, man. I'm laughing because it's so true. Some people believe that that is someone's actual job, right? That they take on that load, they take on that responsibility, man. They take on this certain commitment that they are devoted to saying, "Hey, I'm going to make you happy." Are you kidding me? Do you know the level of responsibility that comes with that? Can you do it? Right? Is the first one, right? Can you even accomplish that? What if this individual that you're connecting with just has tons of baggage and they're never going to be happy because why? They're not happy with themselves, right?
So there's a difference, and it's just pointed out, right? There's a difference where we we do a lot of the things to make your wife happy, to try to accomplish her goals, to
Yeah,
try to help
your
her, and
significant
and
other, your
yeah,
friend,
significant other or whatever,
business partner. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
business partner. Like, you can do, and you can try to do some stuff to show appreciation, like, oh, I'm gonna get you this, I'm gonna buy, oh, you really want that, let me get that for you. There's stuff that as a partner, friend,
Come back and
whatever.
ask for more.
Yeah, they always come back and ask for more. But besides the point, that's the things that you're showing, right? Some type of affection, some type
Yeah.
of way that you're showing you appreciate them. But that's not gonna make them happy, right? It's like,
No.
we got to make ourselves happy. Like,
Right.
it's not my wife's responsibility to make myself happy. I got to be happy with myself in order for our relationship to work even better. Y- Here's one thing that I want to point out. When Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, right? They had all their issues. We've all know,
The
back and forth, but
entanglement is the word. The
entanglement, right?
entanglement.
The entanglement. But they went back. One of the things is, like, Will Smith said, it was like, man, I was doing everything for when I was building this house, thinking that I was gonna make her happy, and I was like, let's do this, let's do that, and then it was like, and she still wasn't happy, and she was like, oh,
Mm,
this is, and then she was like,
mm.
is you know what I figured is he told her, it's not my job to make you happy. You
Yeah.
go find yourself and make yourself happy. Maybe she got that entanglement for that reason. I don't know, right?
Right,
But
right, right.
The important thing from that is it wasn't his responsibility to make her happy. It was Jada
No.
Pinkett Smith. She was had to be happy with herself in order for to be carried with with their partnership and go from there.
Yeah. If anything, I would say, and listen, man, I think you've hit on an important and a very important point. If there's anything I would say to the individual, or whether it's a guy, whether it's a lady listening, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Or however you identify, right? Let's go there. What I would say to you is, when you look at number 6 and it says it's on you, only you are in charge of your happiness, I would say to you, you constantly need to be working on yourself, right? You constantly have to be working. I'm not talking like business related and finance. No, 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 no. I'm talking on you. You got to, honestly, man, it is a day by day situation. You have to work on yourself, right? You have to strive to make yourself a better human being than what you were yesterday, right? Because we all have problems, right? We all have hiccups.
Mhm.
We all have things we've got to better. But the more we ignore them, the more we push them to the side, the more we say, oh, I can just work on me tomorrow, right? At some point in your life, tomorrow could disappear and you never got a chance to work on yourself, which means if you never got the chance to work on yourself, maybe you never really fully understood what happiness looked like. Is
Yeah.
that fair to say to you, Alex?
No, dude, I mean, those are all very important points. I mean, because think about it like this. There's people out there that say, "Oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I hate going in. Oh, what?" So you're
Start off
already
with that
starting.
mentality. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
Go for
a
it.
you're
Go for it.
putting that negativity out there, So one of the things is like, oh man, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna do work on this and
Got
everything.
things to
So
do.
if you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
changing the little energy of you going to work, you should be grateful that you have a job. There's many people out there that are unemployed that they wish they were able to go to get to their jobs, but they can't. So what I would say is like, even with that, you can start changing that attitude. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow. It's like, oh, Monday, I can't wait. I got this. I gotta do this. So if you start focusing on putting positivity in yourself, then you're gonna start projecting positivity around you, right? It's
And
in
onto
that
others, right? And
to
onto
others, correct?
others. Yeah, yeah.
Because you're not
Listen,
miserable because you're at work. You're actually looking forward. It's like, I got a job. I'm gonna do this. So you start, and I get it. We all go through problems. We always have scenarios where we don't like somebody or something is going, and or you know that's not gonna change. But if you start off with negativity from the very start, you're gonna have a negative day throughout. Start
yeah.
positive, and then just go throughout. See what
Start
happens. I mean,
positive and positive, right? You start positive. I don't know about you, Alex, but I struggle, and I'm this is me being real right now, right? And those of you that are listening, I'm sorry if you know me and this may be you and maybe you've seen it in me. I apologize. I really do. But I struggle with negative mindsets. I struggle with people who are constantly living in a state of mind that will always find the negative of something, right? Always. If they always have to find the cup is always half empty versus the cup being half full, right? I struggle with that because what happens is the rest of their life they begin to live and they continue to live in such a way where the cup is always going to be half empty and nothing ever looks up for them, right? Nothing ever goes well for them. Nothing ever is positive for them. And they live in this state of, when will I ever get my break? Well, the point is, the reality is, you have not been giving yourself the opportunity to work on yourself. And because you have not been able to work on yourself, you will continue to live in this state of mind that at times, if you're not careful, it's going to pour into your career. It's going to pour into your, whether you're married, it's going to pour into your relationships. It's
well,
going
yeah,
to pour into everything because it is contagious no matter what you decide to spread.
yeah, especially like you've all been to a place where even at work, or somebody saying like, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." It's like, man,
Yeah.
you tend to push those people away. It's like, dude, just go over there, go away. It's like, we'll figure it
Leave me
out. Leave
alone,
me
man. Leave
alone.
me alone,
Let
bro.
me. I'm gonna figure this out. It's like, I don't need you to say it can't be done. There's a way to do this, right? There's
Yeah.
always a way. So it's like, even at work, I said, it's like, dude, just let me work on this. I'll figure it out. And then when they come back, it's like, oh, you got it done. It's like, I didn't exactly, because you didn't take the time or whatever to sit down and let your mind
Yeah.
focus on what you had to do. And it's the same
Exactly.
thing. The if you got negative people, even if you have negative friends, or you have negative family members, it's like, you don't have to cut them off completely, but you do have to shy yourself away a little bit to be able to surround yourself with positive people that are want to do. Is like, how do I save? It's like, oh, you're never gonna be able to do that, Carlos. That ambitious goal you have is like, dude, you're never gonna do that. Hey, Carlos, don't do that. Carlos, come on, man. Don't do that. It's like, you're like, dude, I don't need that. It's like, I'm trying to do something. I don't need you to tell me. Then you start doubting yourself. Can I do it? No, I can't do it. It's like this. It's like, no. If I say, Carlos, you can do that, man. Come on, push on, dude. You got this. It's like, don't buy that. Don't buy that watch. It's like, I know you want it. Don't buy those shoes. It's like, you got a goal. Remember, like,
Yeah,
go
man.
go get that, man. Go save that bag, right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
difference, right? It's a clear example. Instead of being
Completely.
that friend, be like, did I know you got that goal? And be like, no, buy those shoes, man. That's a nice watch. You get that
Yeah.
watch.
Get that
I already know
watch.
you got like 10, 20 watches back. It's like, you don't need that one because you got a goal, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, you got to
Absolutely.
have surrounding the people that are going to help you achieve those goals. Instead of, man, you got to sometimes cut the little negativity. It's like, no, I don't need that right now.
No, I listen, man. I'm right there with you, and I would say as we wrap up number six, I would say that yes, I affirm this one, man. It's on you. It's only on you. You are in charge of that happiness, right? You need to define, and I'm gonna say this, and I'll end it with this. You need to, those of you that are listening, you need to listen to. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna start over. If you are not happy with yourself, you need to start identifying areas in your life that you see that must change. You need to start identifying areas in your life that need to take on a different approach, right? We talked about the 2 degrees. Sometimes in your life, whether it's your business, whether it's in your relationships, I've talked about the 2 degrees, right? With water and boiling, you are 2 degrees away from creating a boiling point, right? And just sitting in water that is room temperature. So I would say to you, it is that easy to make that shift. Those 2 degrees are so incredibly small, but the impact that it makes is incredibly huge. So I would encourage you, start identifying things in your life that must be removed, that must be realigned, that must be re-engaged, and go back and disengage, right? Disconnect in items or things that take away that happiness and reconnect into things that bring about that happiness. But at some point at the end of the day, you have got to make a decision of what that looks like in your life. And once you begin to do that, things will begin to change for you. I truly believe it. I affirm it, man. I am a believer in it. So I would encourage you, those that are listening, identify those things that are taking away from who you are, that are interrupting that happiness. Approach them, get them head on, fix them, remove them, do what you need to do. And before you know it, you will realize that it is on you and only you that takes the responsibility of your happiness. Then, once you decide to do that, it will pour into others. It will spread, and it will spread in such a way that you had no idea it could spread. And those are around you will begin to be inspired by what you are giving off. Would you agree with that,
Mhm.
Alex?
No, 100%, like 100%. That's why I said, start with the little positivity, even in your mornings, and just be grateful that you're getting up. I mean,
Right?
life is too short, and man, we really, people take it for granted. I mean, we all do it, until you really lose someone that's really close to you. you
Yeah.
you get that vibe, and you're like, not to take it into anything negative, but then you start to appreciate the little things, and you value what we have is moments in your family, that's your inner circle, right? That's the most important thing. So it's like trying to project a little positivity in yourself would go a long way with
Mhm,
us around,
mhm,
with your
mhm.
whoever you're with, right? Um,
Absolutely,
in
absolutely.
talking about negativity, man, Carlos, man, it's
Oh
something that
man,
hit the state of Georgia that's been in the news.
it's
Is,
been all
man,
over the country, right? But
yeah,
now it's
all
hit
over the
Georgia, man.
country. But it's like, how sad is it? All this ramped up violence against like the Asian culture, man, the
And the
Asian
Asian
community.
population, the Asian community is getting hit really hard, man. Did you hear about this lady that her grandson started a GoFundMe account, and the goal was 50 grand, and before you know it, he was able to raise $661,000 for his elderly grandmother. Did you hear about that in San Francisco?
Yeah, she's been severely. I mean, he raised the GoFundMe because she, of course,
She had a
was
traumatic
affected
event, and
mentally.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
physical, emotional. This guy tried to attack her, and of course she defended herself. She was able to fight him off, and I think the guy got the end of the worst end of the stick. But I mean, still messed up
no
her
pun
face pretty
intended,
bad.
right?
Yeah, I mean, he still messed up his face. I mean, she got bruised up or whatever, and of course the scare. Imagine you're walking down the street. You don't imagine that someone's gonna attack you like that, and then so I can see, and here in Georgia where that I forgot his name. Maybe you can pull up his name, but went in and just shot like 8 Asian people at
Yeah,
massage
man,
parlors.
at the parlors,
It,
yeah, man, yeah,
and it's like,
yeah.
dude, I don't understand where this violence is coming. Like, I get that people were like, "Oh, well, from China, the virus came from China, this, and this, and that," but that has nothing to do with attacking a particular culture, right? Or thinking that only because they're from one particular or originated from a particular side of the country, it's their
Yeah.
fault. It's
Yeah,
like I don't
yeah,
understand
yeah.
where people have so much hatred towards someone
So
else.
much
Like,
hate, man.
I just don't
Incredibly so
understand it.
much. Yeah, man. It's incredible how this has come about, man, and people that are losing their life over this. Look, I'm not getting into politics. I'm not getting into this mess. Look, no one should have to pay. Not one community, whether that's the Latino community, the Asian community, the African American community, the Anglo white community. Listen, I could care less because of one person's action, right? Because someone in China, right, created this virus, right, or what's being said. And this stems from politics. We know that. A community, a group of individuals should not have to pay for that, man. That no
Mhm.
one goes after a specific race because something took place in the news. And I don't want to get into details. I don't want to start calling out cultures and communities. Like, that is not my role. That's not what we're here to do. Our goal here is to just bring about what's going on and just encourage you, man, that ultimately at the end of the day, the Asian community right now is hurting. My heart goes out to them. I've got friends that are Asian, and mad love for them, man. Incredible love for them. And if you're in Asia, if you're near an Asian community, stop by, go support their restaurants, right? Go support their stores, create economic impact, and show them that other communities, other cultures are going to be there for them and respect them, and want to value the quality of life they offer into this world, man. Because this is
You know,
ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, and one of the things is like what I can, because I work with someone that's originally from China and everything, and you can tell just by some of their culture, they're really like, they're really about honor, honesty, some of the values that some even some of our people have lost out there, right, in the United States, where they're not showing somebody as like, hey, be kind, be respectful,
Oh man.
let's it's very important. So it's like I don't understand why somebody would just have so much hate for anybody, right? It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
man. Yeah,
it's
man.
like I get it when it's if somebody did something to me. It's like I cannot like that person, but it's
Different
that
story.
person. That's that person, and where's
It's
this?
not a whole
Or
community.
yeah, it's not enough because this person and not everybody. It's like I don't understand that, dude. It's like I don't really have a lot to say about it except that it's sad that people are out there that feel that they need to attack everyone that's not them.
Yeah, man.
I just
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, dude. I'm speechless when it comes to this kind of things.
Yeah, man. I don't listen. That's as much politics you're gonna get from us, folks. But if anything, I would say to you, no matter what culture you encounter this week, no matter what culture you encounter next week, share a smile. I'm just gonna be real. Share a smile. You can't share a hug, right? But share a smile.
Yep.
And some of you, you may say, "Well, I'm wearing a mask." Well, you can still see it in the eyes, right? You can still see it in people's eyes when they smile. Like, just share a smile. This world is already messed up as it is. Don't make it worse. In this situation, man, if anything, I'd say a complete idiot, a complete idiot for no reason, destroying people's lives, wanting to hurt someone, wanting to send a message of what? A message of hate, and then what? Now what? Right now what? At the look, man, I'm gonna be done
Yeah,
with that.
that's
Put that
yeah,
I'm gonna
but that's
put that to
fine.
rest. But I
So
am gonna say, man, at the end of the day, share a smile.
yeah, share a smile. And you pulled up this article, five stocks you really want to own in 2021, and we can go through the list, and we can kind of say, which
Let's talk
ones
about it
you
next week. Let's talk about it next week. Let's
you
talk
want
about
to
it
talk
next
about
week because I
next week.
want to break it down. I want to break this down. I don't just want to spit out five stocks and our listeners that are listening. I don't just want to give you five stocks for the sake of giving you five stocks. I want to actually tell you why these stocks, these specific
And that's
tickers,
what I was
are
gonna say.
incredibly
Yeah,
important. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what I was gonna say because it's like we can, and that's what you kind of read my mind there because I was gonna say, dude, it was like we can spit them out, but I really want to say why you think these particular, like, for example, I'll just give one out there, right?
Yeah.
Walt Disney. It's like that's on this list, and is why do you think that? It was like, what is Disney and what are the moves that they're making in order to make us bullish about where the stock could go, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I definitely wanted to break it down, and good thing that you said that. At least we're thinking on the same page right there.
yeah. No, of course. And the only reason I wanted to bring this is because that doesn't mean that tomorrow I want you to go buy these tickers. This just simply means look at these companies. Let me tell you why you should look at these companies and how you should start to view different companies altogether, right? If you're focused on a specific ticker, on a specific corporation, and you want to be a part of it and you want to invest in it and you haven't done it yet, here are some characteristics I want to encourage you to look for in that specific stock, and I want to compare it to this specific stock only because of the strides that they have made already.
No, well, let me take this last section of the show then. I really want to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, right? Um, I'm a very hardcore Formula One fan, right? I watch the
Yeah,
sport. I record it if I can get to it. Sometimes I do stay up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to be able to watch the race live. Um, it's to me, Formula One is super fascinating. It's a whole drama. Once you kind of get to know the players, know their background, know what's going on behind the scenes, and you start. It's a TV, almost like a TV drama because it's real life. Before Netflix, and I'm going to talk about that, but before Netflix started to Liberty Media took over Formula One. They purchased it, and they
yeah,
started really pushing the interaction between access from the public to the drivers,
yeah.
and giving more access and bringing the show to get engaged. Because here's the importance about Formula One. It's yes, the race is fascinating. The amount of work, the little details
Yeah, yeah.
is
The
super intricate.
adrenaline, man.
Yeah, the adrenaline, the amount of everything that it goes into it. But once you start knowing the players and you know what, like, what they're
Like
like,
the drivers.
yeah, like, yeah, the drivers, like, if you start knowing their personalities, like what's going on, how they're mad at this, how competitive they are, what's going on behind the scenes, you started getting involved in that world where you get to know. It's almost like a Kardashians, right? Like you like
Mhm.
you're involved. That's how I
Of
would
course, you'd
explain it.
use that.
Like, that's how I would explain it, to be honest. It's like,
Yeah,
once you know,
yeah,
like, for example, last year you had Sergio Perez came down with the coronavirus. He had a thing. He had already signed a contract for 3 years in that particular team. There was a small little clause that if by the race in Italy he was under his teammate, then they could execute a clause where they can cancel their contract if they wish. Well, Sebastian Vettel was he's from Ferrari. Was Ferrari decided they're not going to sign him. This guy's a world champ,
Class driver.
so
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
so he lost the driver to that, and there was a lot of behind the dreams drama. Yes, no, I'm secure with my drive. So there was a lot of back and forth. Anyways, he ended up losing the seat to him, and then he got the opportunity late in the season to be able to race for one of the top teams right now, which is Red Bull. So he thought it was a curse, became a blessing at the end, right? So
Mm,
there's a lot of drama that goes behind that.
a
And
great
if
point.
if you guys haven't I'm sorry, caught on Netflix the Formula One Drive to Survive season one, season two. It doesn't
It's
matter
good
if you
stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good
if you
stuff.
if you didn't watch those, that's okay. Definitely watch the Drive to Survive season three. Just got released Friday. What are we? Friday the where are we?
19, 19,
The
19.
19th, right? So Friday then March the 19th just got released today. So the first race starts next weekend. So if you guys watch it if you listening to this on Tuesday, you got a couple days to watch it, know the behind the scenes, get in tune, and maybe you start watching some of these races. And it's really fascinating. I really love Formula One, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. And I know you don't really watch it that much, Carlos, but I
I
don't know if you
like
want to add
watching.
anything.
No, no, no. I like Formula One. I think what's more intriguing to me is the strategy behind the wheel for me. Not really into the the specific countries and those that represent the countries, things of that nature. I like the strategy of I'm watching because previous experience with cars and racing and things of that nature. Strategy plays a major role. How you're about to take a curve and how you're about to honestly slingshot yourself, right? From sitting in sixth place and slingshot yourself all the way to second place. Same thing with NASCAR, but with Formula One, it's just so much more complicated versus going round and round and round in a circle. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
great,
not.
round and
Yeah,
round in a circle, but I love the way the tracks are designed. I love the way the aerodynamics play a role on those tracks and how it affects, right, the distribution and speed and versus the power to weight ratio. I mean, it's incredible. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong. It's
I don't know if you
fascinating.
many. I don't know if many people are out there, but
Well,
I
there's a
rode
lot of people
motorcycle.
out there, Alex. There's a lot of people out there.
No, I'm just saying a lot of people out there that have hit higher than 150 miles an
Oh yeah,
hour.
yeah, like that G-force. Yeah, 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 man.
Yeah, so like I had a Suzuki motorcycle, and I've also hit some my old car that I used to have, and I've hit some speeds that are around 140 in the car. My brother's got a GTR, and that thing is just it's just happiness, right? When you punch it, that adrenaline. But I've hit on the motorcycle over 160 miles an hour in down the highway in a little stretch, and that adrenaline is so pumping,
So
everything's
liberating.
so fast, and that was 160. These Formula One cars can hit up to
220.
210, 220 at the
Yeah, man.
highest, but normally they hit 200 miles no problem all day long on these long stretches, hitting curves at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
if people don't understand that adrenaline, you don't understand what that means when you're going through a little road at like super high speeds. Every
Yeah, man.
position, I mean, it goes a lot. Is instead of just, I'm not gonna degrade NASCAR, but they're just going in a circle.
Yeah, yeah,
Completely
yeah.
different ball game. And
Completely different. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
once you start like really getting into it, man, I think anybody will become a Formula One fan, just because it's so much adrenaline, so much into it. So, any go see it, guys. Go see it.
I will say that Liberty Media, the owners, they also own Truist Park. You know that, right? Liberty Media owns the new Atlanta Braves park
Yeah,
over by Cumberland Mall, and it's a looking at it from a stock perspective. If you want to be an investor, I mean they're hitting $40. I don't think it's overvalued as a media company.
they're growing.
As
They're growing. All their numbers
yeah,
are growing. They're whatever they're doing, their strategy. They picking up subscribers everywhere. On they even got their own like little channel where it's on TV, so you don't have to get your cable. You can purchase there $100 a year, and you can watch all everything behind the exclusive content. They're pushing media. everything, other numbers, if you look at them, Carlos, I think they're up on 10%, if not more, on a lot of these little social media followings. Everything Formula One has been, since they were on board, they've been drawing more and more and more eyeballs to the scene.
Yeah, yeah. And that's only because it needs, the public needs to be educated. And the way you educate the public is through marketing, right? And
Hmm.
that's the reason you're on Netflix watching season 3 of this stuff, right? Because it's educating you of what actually plays a major role and what different roles take place when it comes to Formula One, right? So people who are not into it may watch it and then they're like, you know what? I'd be kind of cool to watch. Before you know it, you have just acquired, right? You've just acquired a new addict. Let's just use that. A new member, a new subscriber, a new fan. But at this point, I think that's fantastic, man. I think it's great for Liberty
Anybody is
Media.
out there, if you watch it and you watch the whole season and you're not hooked and you say, oh, this is not worth the watching, send me a comment on there. It'll be like, Alex, you were full of it. It thing sucks. It's okay. But I
Hang on,
bet
I'm
you
writing it
would.
now. Hang on, Alex, I'm writing it
No, I
now.
said after you watch the whole
Oh,
show.
after. Okay, my bad, my bad.
After you watch the whole thing, you can be like, you know what? That was a good watch. I really enjoy that. I bet you
It was worth
anything,
my 2 hours.
whatever it is, because I think they're like either 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to go back and check.
Hmm.
But
Well,
look,
I'm
let
gonna I'm
me.
gonna give it a shot. I want to encourage you to give it a shot as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you watch it, Carlos, and let me know if you're
Yeah,
not
man.
intrigued.
I'll write the message real quick.
So after you watch the whole show, all right. So here I'm gonna do the quote of the day today, and it's gonna be a really
Yeah, man.
short. I
Take us
don't
to
know
it.
who I don't know who the author is because I couldn't get it was on the actual side of the road. But
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was really fascinating,
It's not
and
it's
is
not what you did last time. You're gonna die.
no. It's
Go
actually
deep.
it's a deep one, but basically is you can't give your life more time. So give the time you have left more life. Again,
Say that again,
you
man. Say it
can't
again.
give your life more time. So give the time you have left more life.
Gosh, that is so good, man. So good.
It's good, right?
That's good. I
A
love how
very
quotes
encouraging.
now will say something and then flip it in the end, and it has even a greater impact. Have you ever noticed that?
Not that I've paid attention, but I think it's a
That's
good
good,
quote,
man.
and let's leave it at
Great quote.
that. With that
It
being
is a great
said,
quote.
guys, please share it with anybody out there that wants to listen. Just tell them it's a good show if you guys, because I think the content that
If
we're
not,
giving
write
you
a
guys,
horrible comment to Alex.
write a comment. So like, hey, what can we do better? What do you guys don't want to hear about? It's like, what are
Right.
you interested? It's like, just share it and let us know if there's a particular topic or something that you guys really want to learn that we need to go more in depth with, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and go from there. But I think that if you guys give us some feedback, we will appreciate it and give us, some likes, some stars out there,
Some stars. Give us
some
some
stars
stars,
on
guys. Give us some stars.
5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on and what is
That's right, man.
Spotify
We're on
uses?
iHeartRadio, right? We got well, I think with
iHeart
Spotify
uses
you do the
stars as
heart.
well.
Spotify is the heart. I think is the heart.
Spotify, give us a heart.
Little baby heart,
iTunes,
the
give
little
us
baby
five
heart.
stars.
Little baby corazon. Corazon
Corazon, just
in Portuguese. Corazon.
share some
Anyway,
love. Share some love. But
share
anyways,
some
with
love,
that being
guys.
said, I'm Alex.
I'm Carlos.
See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
You hear the song?